Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Mailbox Power Mastermind Call that happens on Monday mornings. I always love Kimberly's energy. It happens every Monday morning at 9 a.m. Mountain. You can do the math on all the other time zones. Um, and we come together because we believe a rising tide lifts all ships. And I had a really good call with Lulu. Um, it was either after our call last Monday or after the call with um uh
Turner.
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 I'm like I got Leslie on the brain. Turner. And we had a really good call about the differences between Turner's call and this call. And we talked about how she gets mostly out of this call. I mean, other things too, but it has a lot to do with mindset. And with Turner, it's the mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yes.
and so let's invite more people to this call that need help with mindset. I've known so many people that you have the mechanics and you still don't get anywhere. You can read all the books, you can go to all the seminars, but there's something that holds you back that and it's mindset. I mean, that's what held Mike and I back for many, many years. And I truly believe mindset, you've got to have the mechanics. Don't get me wrong. And I love um, Turner's calls because it gives us new knowledge too of things that are going on. And he's been in the ClickFunnels world, and I want to learn all of that. But there's another piece to learning, and that's to get all the knowledge, but then to be able to tackle this, what's between the 2 years. What is it that you say, Mike?
I don't.
6 inches, 6 inches. What do you say? 6 inches between.
The 6 inches between your ears is there's a quote that I've heard, but I can't pull it off the top of my head. And she does this to me every time.
Well, he usually spatters them off like that. It's something about the 6 inches that
You see if
I
it's
don't know what it is, but I know what you're
that
talking about.
Yeah.
success and
It's
failure is the 6 inches between your 2 ears or something like that. He's usually really good at spouting out quotes. That's why I thought he'd know.
well,
Suzanne, she probably knows the quote.
No, I don't know the quote, but it's interesting that what you're talking about because I have a good friend who does a Tuesday morning little blurb. And this last Tuesday, she talked about consistency. And she read a quote that I now just put in the chat by a man by the name of James Cleary. And that, I love James
Yes.
do you really? I'd never really heard of him before. But anyway, I thought it just kind of took a weight off my shoulders when I read it because they say consistency, if you want to, it's about discipline being determined in theory, but they said in practice, it's about being adaptable. If you don't have enough time to do something, then just do a little bit of it. Or if you don't, you know, and I thought that just really helps because I'm one of those that says, well, I don't have time, so I guess I won't do it, type of thing. Where this would say, well, if you can't exercise for a half hour, exercise for 15 minutes, type of thing. So I just thought that was an excellent quote, and it kind of fits right in with your mindset.
Atomic Habits, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Kimberly.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing what just changing one thing, one
Mm-hmm.
small thing can do to propel you forward.
Mm-hmm.
and he's all about strategies of making things easy. He says if you're going to do a new habit, it should be no more than 2 minutes
Mm-hmm.
and it should have no friction around it. And you really should be excited to do it. 1% better every day.
Mhm.
1% better every day.
Mhm.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I love
Another
this
thing,
mastermind.
yeah, I was gonna say another thing that goes along with that is something about if you're not in the mood to do something or you don't feel like doing something, don't do it, because if you try to do it, it's going to be more difficult and you're going to have to struggle. You need to be in the mindset in order to do, get in the flow, so to speak, of what you're trying to do, and it goes a lot faster and a lot easier. So don't try to, push yourself crazy, trying to do something when it's like, I really don't want to do it now or whatever.
I think sometimes the friction that Kim was talking about comes down to your previous experiences and what you've learned in life. And sometimes it's trying to unlearn what you've learned and get a different perspective on what you need to do to be successful. And I think sometimes that's what people struggle with the most is unlearning old behaviors that keep them from becoming successful.
Definitely. For me, being on these calls, like it speaks right to me. I had to unlearn some things that I had learned, and then also just patterns that I had in all the things that I've done in my life. And I'm still unlearning them, but replacing them, you can unlearn stuff, but if you don't have something to replace it with, and for me, being on these calls, I hear, I might hear something a few times, and then that one day I'm ready to receive it. And so that's why for me, it's really important to be on these calls consistently so that I can get those nuggets when I'm ready for them, taking that next step. So the mindset, unlearning, relearning, and sharing ideas and getting some tidbits, and now piggybacking on the next day with Turner's call now, because I've never been one to make a plan and just do the goals and figure out all this. Like, it's just not me. I always say, I like to sprinkle my fairy dust around, and that's what I want to do. But, to be successful, to be really successful and help more people, we have to have a plan. So now I've got mindset and plan. And that's going to break me really free this year. And so I'm grateful for both aspects of that, and I am bringing that to my business, and I'm gonna knock it out this year.
So, Lulu, would you, as a result of these calls, and a few separate calls, but mostly from this call, would you like to share your success in being consistent on this call and
Yeah.
how it's grown your business? Because I was happy, but I was not blown away, but yeah, blown away. I was like, oh wow, we are helping.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I looked at my numbers. They sent out our tax thing, so of course I looked at 2024. I said, well, let me just see. I don't know. I just never tracked that stuff. I was absolutely astonished to see, since I've been on these calls, how every year I practically doubled my business. And it's mindset. And now, with having more of a game plan to apply that mindset, yeah, But yeah, I'm absolutely happy and willing to share.
Anybody else want to share any successes they've had in the past week or the past year with Mailbox Power? We like to start the week with wins. Kimberly.
I am so excited that a package is going out to Martina. Martina is launching her own life insurance company called True Farewell. And she's already helped my brother. She's already helped my nephew. I we're already establishing a collaboration. And so I made a special mug and a card for her that will be delivered this week. And she also got the video, the demo, and some testimonials that I sent from the Mailbox Power website on life insurance. And I'm looking forward to following up. And it happened so naturally. It wasn't anything that was forced or, I got a referral from a lady named Destiny last year. And it was only in December last year that my brother said, I really want to make sure that I get the life insurance taken care of. And I know that's on your list too, sister. And I said, yes. So then I had to look Martina up, call her, and we just started. I mean, the energy, the synergy, the excitement. She's going to go to a pitch party with me. I'm just really excited about nourishing this relationship beyond a transaction. I'm just really excited. And Mailbox Power is a key component to really help you nourish a relationship beyond a transaction.
So I love something that you just said, Kimberly. One, it was you that took almost a year to reach out to her. And this is us reaching out or you reaching out. Think of the people you connect with, and we get frustrated and we think we're not successful and, that you're dropping the ball or whatever it might be. And then all of a sudden you think it's just sprinkling fairy dust, as Lulu said, just, fairy dust just happens and those connections come back. But something in life happens. Your brother said something to you that then triggered you to remember that person, but that person was obviously memorable. And that's the key. You need to be memorable. So when the time is right for them to pull the trigger and use a service like Mailbox Power, that you are the one they remember to pick up the phone and call. And it doesn't always happen overnight. I know Lulu's talked about nurturing relationships in 3 or 4 years before somebody signs up. I've had people that it's been 5, 6 years, and then all of a sudden, I say all of a sudden out of the blue, it's not all of a sudden out of the blue. Most of those people have been getting birthday cards and they've been getting holiday cards, and maybe they're now at a place in their business or they were networking and they said something and somebody else said, oh, do you know Brenda? And it's like, oh, yeah, I need to get back with her. But it's because you've planted the seeds and you've been memorable. So that's the key in any business, but especially in this business. And that's what Mailbox Power allows businesses to be, is memorable. And that's what Kimberly's talking about. And she sent that package so that she will be memorable. And so it's about planting those seeds, and not all seeds sprout at the same time.
And this was a challenge for Martina, because my brother has some health challenges, and some insurance companies don't want you if you have a health challenge. They don't. And my brother, 2 years ago was denied, and he was really emotionally, he just didn't understand it, that he was being profiled because of his medical record. And so, Martina assured me, she goes, I got a few. Okay, I know this game. We're going to play to win. And that just sold me right there.
Nice. Any other wins anybody wants to share for the week?
Well, I win every time I'm on this call. This call has been an anchor for me to continue my Mailbox Power business when life was, when I was going up and down. through deaths in the family, through the fires, through everything that was going on in my life, I was able to plug in and stay connected and feel connected to a community that actually cares.
Yep.
And that we are developing relationships with each other so that we can reach out to one another. And a lot of people that are in business, even, affiliate marketing, I don't care, they don't always have a safe place where they can come and say, you know what, I goofed up, I messed up, or I'm not getting the results I want, or let me hear a different perspective, and it be a safe place. And that's what we've all created here. And we deserve others. We deserve to invite others to grow this call, because there isn't a lot of safe places for people to go, especially when they're first starting out in business, especially when you're first starting out as an entrepreneur. I was a deer in headlight for a long time, and a lot of times with the social media and me being, I'm not going to say late adapter, I'm saying adapter. I'm an adapter. Things are new, but progress is unlearning. It is unlearning. And I've started to unlearn some things just be listening to the conversations between all of you. This is packed with notes from this call, and nothing can take that away. I'm anchored in, and it's because of the relationships and the community we have on this call. I can do the training, that's all good, but it's the relationships. Mindset is everything, and just staying plugged in here can help you change your mind as you ride life's ups and downs.
Yeah.
I agree, 1000%.
Thank you for sharing, Kimberly. Anyone else?
Definitely ditto. Because I alternate in time zones, I beat myself up when I miss this call when I'm in Pacific time, but being in Mountain time, it makes it a lot easier. But when I'm not on, a lot of times it's because I am in Pacific time and my mindset isn't changing to Pacific time. But ditto everything Kimberly has said. It starts my week out so much better in all aspects.
Awesome. Well, I know you were looking. Did you find the quote?
No, I didn't.
So mindset is everything. And let's talk about one thing this week, or maybe one thing, because we're at the start of February. We're February 3rd. I was going to say the 2nd. We're February 3rd. And it's a short month. So I'm going to give you a short month to work on mindset. But what's one thing, like Atomic Habits, James Clear, what is one thing you can start doing today that will help to grow your Mailbox Power business, whether it be today or in the future? What is one thing that you are committed to working on for just 1 month? And you'd be surprised, once you do it for 1 month, it becomes easy to do it for a second or a third. It's the hardest part is the first week. And that's why we'll talk about it today, and we'll come back next week and say, how are we doing on that one thing? Kimberly.
It's always been my approach. And a lot of times I would get myself overwhelmed before I even started. And so instead of saying I have to, I'm going to say I get to. I get to. And just that phrase alone fills me with gratitude and ease. And it's not burdensome and not something I have to crunch in a deadline like I have to. It just sounds heavy. And so I'm going to use I get to. I
love
get
it.
to.
I get to, or I choose to.
I choose
I like
to.
that. Mm-hmm. Lulu.
So for me, going back to what I was talking about earlier, is giving myself credit from a personal level, just giving myself credit for what I've achieved. I mean, I've basically built this business just one by one by one. So one thing that I'm going to do is to start um, when I'm in networking meetings, seeing if I can get some speaking engagements and like set up some presentations so that I can reach more people in a shorter period of time and build some momentum that way. So that's one thing that I'm going to be doing is saying, asking for, let me come to your office, let me talk to your people, let me show this to your people. So that's one thing I'm going to do.
Awesome. Go to their office, or another approach, instead of putting it on them and having them come into you to their office, is, you know what, once a month or every other week, I'm going to be at X coffee shop, and I would love for you to bring. And I love going into the office because then that gets a whole office using the system. So don't get me wrong. But sometimes when I've done that, it's everybody's running in 50 different directions and they think they'll have everybody there, unless it's a set staff meeting where you're going in to train, which you could do.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of going and there's only one or two people there and it's only for the one business, what if you said, I'm going to do a lunch and learn, or give it a title, client nurturing workshop every other week or once a month, and we're meeting at X coffee shop, and you might have to pay for a room at the coffee shop, a small fee, but now it opens them up to feel like they can bring other friends in business that aren't their business.
Mm-hmm.
It might not work, but it's just another idea to allow your BNI people to say, bring one. Just bring one person. Everybody show up on this day at this time and bring one person.
That's a good idea. I mean, I haven't figured out the logistics of how I'm going to do it, but yeah, I mean, I can do it that way. I can go to somebody's office. I just want to get in front of have that one person that knows me, likes me, trusts me, possibly even using my services, using Mailbox Power. Let me come and talk to the people in your office, and perhaps you can give them your success story, and let's engage some more people, and maybe even make them an affiliate and sign up all the people in your office. I can talk to them, but help people to spread the word.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Awesome. Alan.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
My consistency this month will be is going to look like 10 reach outs a week and 50 cards a week rather than 150 cards in week 4. Did that last month, got them all used up, but that's not the point. The point is to be ahead of the game. I'm also going to consider judicious use of our mailing lists with some local folks and see how that works.
Awesome. I love it. So 10 reach outs a week. So basically 2 a day.
Yep.
Are you going to commit to 2 a day or 10 for the week? The reason why I ask is 2 a day is a little less daunting than 10, because you get to the end of the week and it's like sort of like the end of the month. Now I got to get 150 out.
I intend the former, Brenda. I'm not going to put myself behind the gun, so to speak.
So put 2 pennies, 2 rocks, 2 something in your pocket every morning.
There you go.
And move them to the other, whichever. If you're right-handed, take it out of your right and put it in your left, whatever it might be. And that can be a reminder that, oh, I still got to rocks to pennies to something, I need to do some reach out today.
Right. Right.
Might
Exactly.
be a way to a reminder without getting to 9 o'clock at night and thinking, because every time you reach down, you're going to feel them in your pocket, and it'll be a reminder all day long that at some point you need to work those in.
Right.
Anybody else? What's one thing that you're going to do this week to help start doing this week to help you propel your Mailbox Power business forward?
I'm going to reach out to one a day. I'm going to start with just one and
That's
then use
great plan.
Lulu's 1% better next week.
Yep, I love it. Okay, that's a great place to start, Andrea. One is something that isn't overwhelming, and it can even be people that you've talked to in the past, and just make a list of all of those people. I've done this before, and it tends to be when my business grows quite a bit. I should do it more often, but I make a list of everybody that's been in the funnel for a while that has said, someday I want that service. They haven't said no, and I start to make a list, and then I just start going through and reaching out to those people to see is now a good time? Is now a good time in your business to add a follow-up?
I've been entirely too passive, and that's, I know, my downfall. I'm not going to say it's a negative, it's just a downfall that I've been too passive on making that. Okay. So thank you for this
You're welcome.
day.
And it just, I don't know if it helps or not, but Andrea, we used to be the same way, very much. Like, I get up and I say my commercial, and if they're interested, they'll come to me.
And you know, that's what I coach is you
Yep.
have to ask, you know, but it's like the shoe repairman whose family doesn't have shoes.
Yep. Yep. I love it.
I love that is now a good time, like as a way to start off a conversation, because I'm never ever using ever again just following up or just checking in. Like we have to come up with some different words, some different ways to engage people to get them to read an email or whatever. I mean, I just sent out cards to everybody, all of my customers. Like I think I said this last week. You know, it's first quarter. Let's brainstorm. If you need some help, here's where the training calls are every day. But if you want to, you know, chat with me, and here's my calendar link. And I actually got somebody scheduled this morning. Everybody's starting to receive the cards. So, you know, just finding creative ways, but never again, you know, following up, checking in. I don't know. It just seems so tired.
And
So,
as a result of Lulu talking about that last week on the call, guess what? We also sent out cards. The same thing, because I thought it was an amazing idea. We learn from these calls also, because all of you have amazing ideas to grow your business and have built your business different than other people, and we can all learn from each other.
and I created this card, Let's Reconnect, and I'm sending this to people who have been customers of mine who I want to re-engage. And so it's going to list top 10, you know, or new features and top 10 reasons to send. Let's just have a conversation. And again, with my calendar link. So
Awesome. Anybody else before we wrap up the call for the week?
I'm good.
Awesome. Well, think about that one thing that you can do to grow your business. We're learning how to with Turner, And how to is great, but we need to actually do it. And that's the mindset. And unlearning or relearning something new, especially for those of us who are well experienced, we'll say. Lulu got it. And it, it's just one little tweak. So what's one little tweak you can do today? And you can always make another tweak next week or in a few days. But what's just one little thing you can do to help propel your Mailbox Power business forward for 2025? And with that, I hope you all have an absolutely fabulous Monday. And we will see you all tomorrow. Or no, when tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
I had both on the calendar, and it's tomorrow is Turner's call. And then let's think about who you know in Mailbox Power that's been struggling with mindset. Not the mechanics. They've got the mechanics. They might need some help with mechanics, but they never seem to actually do the mechanics, and that's the mindset. So let's think about one person that you could bring to the call next Monday that needs help with mindset. And with that,
Okay.
have an awesome week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.